I have always had authenticity as one of my greatest values, but it's taken me a long, long time to really figure out what that means for me and to help also my clients to experience it. And I think part of the reason it's been such a long journey is it really takes deep work to be authentic. You can't be authentic if you don't know who you really are. And you also can't be authentic if you're not willing to kind of put yourself out there and be vulnerable. The best thing that you can try to do is to own your own story. It's not like we can stop telling stories about ourselves or about other people or about what's happened to us, but we can try not to take on the stories of our ancestors and our culture without seeing if they really fit. Most of the stories that are handed down to us operate subconsciously, and we aren't even aware that we're telling ourselves those stories. So first, there's this whole process of just uncovering what the stories are, where they came from, and then evaluating whether we believe them or not, or whether we believe in a different truth or a different story. It's a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. One of the influences on my life when I was younger was Abraham Maslow and the hierarchy of need. And this journey I think we're all on for self-actualization. And I don't think you can get there without uncovering the stories. I think that's what has pushed me is wanting to be the best and most real version of myself I can, and understanding that there was a lot of work in uncovering things that needed to be healed first. As humans, we all experience pain and suffering, but I don't think that has to be the catalyst. I think many of us are just on that journey from a very early age, and the catalyst comes from within. It's spiritual, it's not external. I don't believe in power over others at all. The power to be and the power to transform are probably the things that I would relate to the most. Sometimes I still have difficulty knowing, is that my intuition or is that just some subconscious theme playing in my mind? But one thing I've learned is it takes practice, which is why, I do things like meditation, and I like to use oracle cards because I feel like visual representation connects you to your intuition better than words does. As humans in a body, or as spirits in a human body, let's put it that way, we are all going to experience pain and illness and the death of the human body. So there has to be more to it than that. Embodiment to me is your body is your spiritual home. I think we have to be wary a little bit about being solely on an internal journey of healing ourselves because of the reality of spiritual bypassing and kind of not acknowledging other people's pain and suffering. So I think it's a delicate balance there. The reason I like stories is because they're a language that also is visual. When you read or you listen to a story, you immediately get images in your mind. The book grew out of my own experience. I had been on my own journey and had been healing a lot of the stories that I'd been told in my childhood and by my culture as a woman growing up in the 1950s about what women were supposed to do and not do and be and not be. And I just realized that even today, when you look at media and culture, the main paradigm is still the masculine model of external journeys and discoveries. We're all born with a balance of so-called masculine and feminine traits. We like to say the masculine is logical and linear and strong, and the female is open and receptive and compassionate and loving. Well, we all have those qualities. They're inherent in us as human beings. So what's been kind of the problem with at least Western culture is they overly glorify that male aspect of power and success, and they undervalue the feminine aspects of love and nurturing. And our whole society is structured around that dichotomy. So my message is both genders and people who are non-binary and don't identify with either gender need to embrace fully all the qualities that they have within them. I just came back from a retreat, and there's just a lot of power when people come together in a space where the intention is to be fully themselves, to share their stories, to let themselves be vulnerable. I do a lot of activities structured around the book, but really what's most important about it is the opportunity to reflect and go deep and connect.